BLDP looks very interesting. I should have... the entry was, I guess, a little bit lower. I'll buy some. It's a runaway market right now, you know. I'll buy some. Small position. I bought 30,000 shares of this FAS. I don't think I'm gonna do any individual financial names like DFS and SYF. Even though they look great, I'll just do the ETF. I'll have... They are stronger than the ETF, but... Yeah, the SETC does look good on a weekly. Carvana broke out yesterday too. I passed on it. Maybe I shouldn't have. Big weekly breakout. Where also had this little pocket pivot type of a thing yesterday, but I passed on it. ROKU also. Not really. This PENN is actually bouncing after rising 150. But none of these are really my type of setups. CROX earning CP. Yeah, maybe. It's already, this is the problem, okay? This thing is a 10 bagger in a year. That's the problem. But it has gone sideways for like 3 months, so I'm building higher lows, but yeah, it's not a young trend anymore. It could work, but I won't touch it. It's too thin anyways. SC, it needs to build a base. This is another one I got shaken out of. I had an entry. I was in this thing on this day here in the like 44s, 45s. I got shaken out. They took out the lows of the day, and I never got back in, and it's up 10% since. It's just so hard to trade the breakouts in a market like this. It's super hard, and it needs to go sideways. Amazon and Netflix, yeah, the large cap ones. Yeah, Netflix, man, I should have bought that break. That was one of the best charts in the market. Took out, it's been building higher lows for like 2 years or year and a half, and then took out this 2-year range. That's a pretty good chart pattern. And Amazon too, this one also. It's been building higher lows for over 2 years. Yeah, VEEV is a nice one. Nice little niche SaaS business, healthcare SaaS stock. If it can just tighten up a little bit, would be nice. Yeah, there's no point in doing the individual names. I think these triple ETFs are better. You don't take on any especially if you want to swing trade these like I am, because there's no company specific risk in these. GBTC, it's a Bitcoin play. Yeah, you know, it looks... if you can build on this flag a little bit, that would be great. There could be a long setup here soon. It had a big move of the lows, pulled back, going sideways a little bit. Yeah, I think maybe next week there could be a nice setup here. Okay, MRNA, I think this thing is gonna go to mid 40s. I think the bounce play may come tomorrow. Ideal scenario, if it goes to like high mid 40s today and then gaps down tomorrow, that would be an ideal scenario. That would be a 5-star setup. Oh, you bought TWLO too? Yeah, that's one I really wish I had bought. I passed on it. Super annoying. But you got CHGG and TWLO, yeah. CHGG, yeah. And Fastly. Those one I also have. They're acting well so far. But if Fastly closes below this 10-day moving average, I'm gonna sell a third. And CHGG, if it closes below the 20-day, I'm gonna sell half of that. You bought some M today? But they had a perfect entry yesterday. Opening range highs. I guess you're doing it for a day trade. Oh wow, COF, DFS, syphilis. These things are up so big from yesterday. Gonna put these also on short watch. I hope they keep going. ACB looks intriguing. Could be a potential long setup coming on it. Or a potential short setup. Things I'm watching, Mark obviously. And you know, if it sets up tight, late day and higher lows, and then starts breaking higher after several hours of a tight consolidation, I may even add to it. Probably not, but I may do it. We'll see. It needs to be really good, and the volume needs to be really high. So far, the volume is going to be higher than Friday's, so that's good. Tesla, if it starts breaking higher, taking it out at 834 area, I'm going to buy. This thing looks so good. Unbelievably good looking high tide flag. But we made a good money on it. I still remember when I bought it at, was it 21 when it reported here, or a few days after it reported. Yeah, I bought it at 22 or like 22.10, or I don't know, like very low 22s. And then it took out the it went up a little bit and it stopped me out. It took out the opening range lows by a few pennies. I think I got the low print on this day. This 21.95 on this breakout day. That's like my sell orders. And then it started going higher again. I rebought it like 22.30, 22.40, and the stock doubled in a few months. More than doubled. I still remember that. Man, that was... I'm so happy I rebought it. Holy shit. I'm so happy I rebought it. And then we got stopped out again. I think in January. Yeah, mid-late January we got stopped out, and then I haven't traded it since. DDOG I also really like. This is building a high tide flag. And also TTD, it's also building a high tide flag. And also Tesla is building a high tide flag. Wow, this EVER is a great looking growth stock. It's a small cap. It's very thin. If I had a smaller account, I would probably buy it. But I don't have a small account. I would like to buy like 20,000 shares of this thing, and I can't. It's just too thin for me. But it looks great. It looks great. This LK is, I think it's going to have a big bounce. Probably not today, but maybe tomorrow. The lower it can go, the better. This is ultra liquid. One of these days, it's going to bounce like 50, 100%. LABD is a triple short. Labo don't. No, it's not a great. You're thinking about longing it? No, don't do it. It's a triple ETF. These things only go up when the market tanks. And unless you think the markets are going to absolutely tank from here, no. It's not a great play, in my opinion. And even when the market tanks a lot, this thing didn't even make a big move. It only went up 100%, and we had one of the biggest sell-offs in history back in February, March. So even if you think the market's going to tank, I think TWIX is a better buy. But you have to understand what these are. These are volatility... Or this is a volatility instrument. This is a triple short biotech. Yeah, even then I think it's shorting like IBB would be better. Or actually not IBB, it doesn't have a lot of range. I think shorting Labo would be better than going short LABD. I'm just not a fan of these triple ETFs. You really need a strong burst of momentum in one direction for these things to move, and then they can move a lot, but they rarely move. NTNX, I like this stock really a couple of years ago. Now I don't see anything here. I don't see anything on NTNX. What do you see there, David? I think this mark is about to do something absolutely fantastic. Look at the 60-minute chart. It looks like it looks very similar to down here when it was in the 110 area, and then it went to, it went up, it more than doubled. It went up 140% in a few days. It looks similar. I'm not saying it's gonna go up 140% in a few days here, but why can't this thing go to 253 bucks? Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I was thinking about adding Spotify for a short list. I just don't think it's up enough. I think maybe tomorrow, if it can go up today also, I think tomorrow could be a potential like short-term short. It's just coming out of a big IPO base. I think, it's important not to be too early on these things. It can go to like 250 without a pullback. So I'm gonna be careful on it. I'm not gonna look at it today. Maybe tomorrow if it goes to like 200 plus today. But it's gonna be a very short-term trade. What made you choose BEA? Because it's a beaten down stock. It's probably not gonna go out of business, and it just reclaimed the 50-day moving average. That's why. And today it broke out. That's why I bought it. Fuel cell. Oh, it's triggering again. BLDP and plug are setting up too. This sector is not gonna, but this thing is so thin. I don't think I'm gonna rebuy it, to be honest. Fuel cell, I don't know. It's just too thin. Can it go to $3-4? Yeah. But man, it has no volume. Yeah, SRNE. I still think it could be like if it closes really weak today and then opens weak tomorrow, I think there could be a big rebound in it. I like this BCRX. This one is setting up nicely. I just wish I had bought it in at $4, $4.10, $4.15. And Tesla, man, this thing feels like it's gonna do something big. I really think this thing could be a trade where you risk $10 to make 200, 300, 400. It feels like that. It's just setting up in a big way. So stupid. Every time they try to pump this thing so many times. Every time it fails. It never has a day 2. It never has a day 2. Okay, here it did. Here it did. Here it actually had a day 3. But most of the time when they pump it, it just fades on the first day or on the second day. And people keep buying it. It's fascinating. Zoom. I think Zoom is setting up really well. This is like, you would think this stock would go down. Like Zoom has higher market cap than all the airlines put together. That's just amazing. Unbelievable. But I think it's gonna go higher. It's building higher lows both on the daily 60-minute charts. I think this thing could squeeze to like 220, 250. I don't think there's a short setup here right now. I don't. It's just building higher lows. It's more bullish than bearish. That's for sure. No, it doesn't. MU doesn't look good. I'm sorry. I looked at it yesterday. I don't think it looks good. I don't think it looks good at all. It's a huge laggard, in my opinion. Why CODX? What's special about CODX? No, I'm too afraid of it. I'm too afraid they're gonna halt it. But hey, I don't know. I mean, look, the chart looks good. This 1950 range break is a pretty big deal. It has higher lows. I mean, the chart looks really good. I don't know, man. Maybe I'll take some small size, and if it closes well, I'm gonna hold it overnight. I don't know. Oh, yeah, no, I actually had it on watch list going into today. It's just going sideways. I think next week, if we can take out this 1370 area, there could be something there. It's just flagging, just like MRNA is flagging, NVAX. Oh, and MRNA is actually MRNA and NVAX are flagging. They could all have another leg high. CHDN. Okay, it's just a random stock. I mean, this chart looks exactly like hundreds of others. I don't know what I'm looking. It's a very thin. You know, it looks similar to Las Vegas Sands. It looks similar to the WYNN chart. MGM, they're all the same sector. I mean, CHDN is the thinnest of all of them. Caesars has the best chart. I don't know why you would like to trade CHDN. Just a very random looking chart. And thin also. I'm watching this FLIR. Right now it's bouncing off its 20-day, or it tries to bounce. It's building high lows in the 60-minute chart. This is one of the thermal camera plays. AYTU held the rising 50-day so far. Maybe in a few sessions, if it can set up again, like if this thing comes back from the bad earnings report reaction, you know, maybe it can go. Because it was the same thing with CODX. It tried a couple of times, and then once it broke out, then it really went. And AYTU has kind of a similar chart. So maybe next week or week after, maybe we get another setup on it. So it's waking up. It reclaimed VWAP and looks like it wants to take. It reminds me of APDN yesterday. Also had big volume, was up big on the day, and then it just kind of didn't really amount to anything. I don't know. Is SRNE different? I don't know. If it sets up well, maybe in 30 minutes or an hour or so, I may buy it, but right now I'm not gonna chase it into this random move. Look, this is the kind of stock that could do like an APDN. It just fizzles. Like it's gonna go back to 350 tomorrow, or it's gonna go to like $7-8. I don't know. You know what, Mark? Over this 162 area could be an ad spot. I'm probably gonna buy it like 100,000 shares or something. If it can break that area later today. I got stopped out 3 times. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. 3 times. I don't know. I mean, on the long side, I mean, on the short side, I can get stopped out a lot of times before I finally nail it. But like on the long side, I don't remember last time I got stopped out 3 times on the same stock. That's really something. But 140, it's gapping up. I don't know if I had any news, but it looks good. Like, it has a lot of volume. And I did buy some pre-market and after hours yesterday and pre-market today. I have 104,000 shares right now, and I'm willing to add another 50, 100,000 easily to it. Oh, APT, oh man. Why can't this thing go straight up anymore? I think it's gonna, I think it's gonna go. I just think, yeah, I think it's gonna go. I mean, the chart, it's not really a 5-star chart. Looks great on the weekly chart, daily chart. It's been building, look at this chart. It's been building higher lows relentlessly for 2 months now, and yesterday it broke this range on big volume too. I think it's gonna go. I think it's gonna find support here and go. I would be surprised if this thing doesn't go to like 20. I will be surprised. I'm not trying to get too pumpish here, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Farfetch, I don't know. Let's see here. I mean, it's gapping down. I don't see anything. But they had a nice beat. But this thing has been acting bad since the IPO. I don't think it's a quality stock. At least not now. Maybe it could be in the future. BLPH has started building a range here. I think that 20 is a key level. Obviously, I hope this thing goes higher, but I will be interested in it soon. At the end of the day, it's up almost 600% on the day. Doesn't mean it can't go higher, but it's all about the set risk reward. Yeah, and what's the ADR on UPS? Can you remind me what's the ADR on this thing? 1.27. That's like as low as it can get. Like, or 1.7. You know, there's not many stocks that have lower ADRs than this. This is literally a boomer stock. 99% of the time. Like, even if it works out, goes to like low mid 20s or something, or 200s. You know, most of the time, like trading something like this is a waste of time. You want to be in fast moving things. And even here, if you look at the EP last July, okay, nice. If you had bought it, you know, it went up 30% over the next few months. But if you go back to that period, that earnings season, July, August, there were a lot of EPs that made, you know, much bigger moves than that, because they were higher ADR stocks. You know, don't go down in the quality ladder just because there's nothing going on. You don't have to trade every single day. You don't have to trade every week. You don't have to trade every month. Now obviously it's easier said than done, we've all been there. Just, you know, it gets boring and you start, you know, imagining as, you know, things look better than they actually look. Because our brains rationalize things because we really want to make trades. But that's not our job. Our job is not to make trades. Our job is to make money. Yeah, or you slip into day trading. Nothing wrong with day trading, but that's not really what we do here. Hertz, yeah, they finally announced the bankruptcy, and right now I think it could do like LK did. Like LK bounced 100%, over 100%. Like Hertz, it's already bounced 200%, but you know what? You know, maybe it can bounce back to $2. I don't know. Like we already, you know, the bankruptcy announcement is out of the way, and I wouldn't be surprised if this thing bounced back to $2 or low twos or something. I don't think there's a lot of headline risk on Hertz anymore. Like they're bankrupt. Like how much worse can it get? Like short term, like obviously I think the equity may be worthless, but for a short term trade, absolutely, I think it could work. AMD looks good. I was long this thing last week, I think I got out break even when it looked like market was weakening up, but it still looks good. It's holding its uptrend, and I'm gonna watch it for next week. Yeah, net is it's not a great momentum stock, at least not so far. It always tends to pull back. Like it has breakout, pulls back, has a breakout, pulls back, has a breakout, pulls back, and stops you at every single time. Not linear at all. BGS. It's just a random thin stock. It's not a trading stock. It's definitely not. Investing stock, maybe, but definitely not a trading stock. Yeah, growth generation is getting tight. Kind of surfing the 100-day, been building higher lows. It's kind of tight. Looks great on the weekly too. Been a long flag now, 4-month flag. 4 months it's been going sideways. Yeah, looks good. Very thin though. But yeah, it needs to break out with conviction if it's gonna go. Yeah, Apron. Yeah, that was a nice trade, but the thing is, I only had half size on it, and I covered way too early. Yeah, okay. Apron. Yeah. That was a pretty good one. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that was a decent one. Not a huge one, but considering I had half size, I covered like 30% too early. I just can't believe the move it made. It went down like 64% intraday. You don't see those kinds of moves very often. Yeah, Apron. That one warms my heart. Damn it, my fuel cell names. I was long all of these. Plug, fuel cell, BLDP. Then this Corona thing hit, and now they're back at where I bought them last time a few months ago. Obviously they need to develop some bases, but they're back. They're back. Look at how BLDP found support on the rising 150-day twice. Just beautiful. Plug too. Plug looks the same. It undercut the 200-day. Cool, looks really good on the weekly chart, or at least, yeah, well, it looks decent, I guess. Or it does look good. I don't know. MRNA is another one. I had a good entry a couple of weeks ago. Got stopped out for a small loss. And now it looks like he wants to go higher. Shui. Well, this thing broke out a couple of weeks ago. On the weekly chart. Well, it still kind of broke out a couple of weeks ago. I mean, it just doubled in a month. You know, it's you know, it's straight up. Needs to go sideways a little bit. Yeah, Netflix had a mega breakout yesterday from a multi-year range. Amazon too, yeah. These mega caps are doing really well. Big beneficiaries from the corona lockdowns and everything. SDGR has a very pretty pattern, but it's just super illiquid. I did buy some Tencent and JD because they're coming out of solid bases, but just things are just going straight up. MDB broke out of a range to the upside. APT, I don't know. I don't see anything here. I don't see anything on APT. I have mostly short setups. But again, nothing that's super exciting. W I'm watching. I'd like to see this thing show some relative weakness. Like this W couldn't bounce with the markets in the last like the markets bounced last 30 minutes on Thursday, but W couldn't bounce. It closed at the lows. So it showed some relative weakness late day on Thursday. I'm watching SPXL and SPXL to add to my shorts. I'm also watching Shui if this thing can extend further. CACC would be nice if it can go to 350. RGA would be nice if it can get to high teens or something, mid-high teens. Yeah. Had a nice little breakout candle yesterday. Not really my type of stock, it's too thin for me. Yeah, could have some room to go. I guess they're taking it up because they do workout equipment. I guess that's why they're taking this thing higher. Like people are building home gyms and stuff. Yeah, this thing could have a couple of good quarters ahead. MNK for a potential short. I mean, sure, maybe as a day trade. I don't know. I think there are better ones out there though. This is a microcap name. Low price microcap name. Yeah, a lot of people are asking about Sonos. Yeah, I guess it looks good. I mean, it looks like a good setup. There's nothing wrong with it. Looks good. It's been surfing the 50-day. It's been look at how nice it surfs the 20-day and then it started surfing the 50-day. Like this is not a random stock. This is very controlled, right? It's not one of these random stocks. I think it looks pretty decent. Yeah, SQM. Yeah, hot sector. ALB broke out on Friday. I got like 2/3 of the size I wanted, then it went straight up and I never got filled for the rest. And SQM, yeah, look how tight it was. Surfing the 100th day and look at how tight it got. And now it's finally breaking out. I have a small position. I bought some in my IB account. It's really I mean, this thing probably needs to double for me to make any meaningful money on it, but actually I think it could. Like, it could. Why can't this thing go to 100 over the next few months? It's a very long and nice, beautiful flag. But again, it's a thin stock, so not a lot of things I like. But there are things setting up. I'm kind of excited for this earnings season. I think there's gonna be a lot of opportunities. There's been a lot of stocks that have been going sideways for 4, 6, 8 months. Like the stocks that made big moves in 2019, 2020. Something like AMD, for example, that report tomorrow after it close. It's been going sideways since like late July last year. Late July last year. Pretty much. If we can break out on earnings, could make a big move. Tesla has been going sideways for like 4 months, pretty much. And it's kind of flagging. And I mean, you know, there's a lot of these types. These were just 2. That's where you get the big moves, when stocks break out of big bases. That's where we get the big moves. Look at the AMD, for example, last year. I remember this when it broke out. Had a pocket pivot here. Actually, it had a pocket pivot here too. I think I traded it here, but then I passed it on this day here, and then that's the one time it worked out, and it went up 65% in a month. And it broke out of this 5-6 month flag. ICHR. Yeah, it's kind of flagging, but is it anything special? I don't know. I think no. It's maybe a 3-star. I'm really looking for the special ones right now, especially, you know, you gotta be so selective in this market. It's not like March last year to February this year. You could buy anything that looked decently good and you would have made money. It's not that type of a market environment anymore. You gotta be so selective. You know, if you're gonna buy something, you know, you gotta make sure it's something special, not some random stock with a random, you know, flat consolidation. Another semi-name about to break out the multi-month range. Looks better on the weekly than on the daily. It's all over the place on the daily. SWKS. Oof. I wouldn't trade this thing. Looks very random. Ryan, isn't that also one of these? Oh, it's a chemical. Nah, I don't know. It's all over the place. It's kind of choppy. I don't know. It's a tricky one. I prefer clean setups, clean stocks, clean ranges. This one looks pretty good. Surfing the 200 nicely and now coming out of this range. What's this PAX doing? PAX, I think, is another Brazil software name. Dennis? Oh no, Denbury. Oh, Dennis. Oh yeah, okay. I don't see a good setup here. Yeah, Carvana. Not really sure what to do with. I was thinking about it. It was a potential pocket pivot on Friday, but I guess it was a little bit too choppy. You know, it's been in this range of death for the past 5 months. I think, yeah, it needs to kind of actually break out of this range for me to even consider it. AMD is grinding higher. They have earnings tomorrow after it close. It looks interesting on a weekly. Found support on rising 50 weekly, building higher lows, and it's been in a range for 7-8 months. I was thinking about buying this FCX on Friday, but I wasn't sure. I remember I bought it here and I got stopped out, and then this thing pulled back to the rising 50 day and the 20, and now it's going again. That's what I mean, that sometimes when it gets stopped out, the stock goes lower and puts in another higher low. The setup is gonna be a stronger setup than it was. You know, the setup on Friday was better than a setup here. I think I did. Didn't I go through? Yeah, I mean, it looks like a decent setup. It's a nice, you know, hot sector, lithium, next big thing, etc. What's this LAC doing? Yeah, LAC is also kind of breaking out of a range, but not really, not my type of setup. TMST, isn't that a steel name? Yeah, Timken Steel. Yeah, it had a good setup on Friday. And today it's following through, just like X had a setup on Friday and is following through. Yeah, it's not really my type of a setup. Do I like NVAX for a long? Yeah, maybe. The whole sector is very strong. NTNX, MRNA. NVAX is a little bit of a laggard, but yeah, sure. Looks good. Yeah, Tesla is after it close. Definitely something I'm watching. It's in an uptrend on all time frames now. I just hope it doesn't. If it gaps up, I hope it doesn't gap up too much. Breakout on GME on the weekly? Yeah, sure. It just needs some more work. So SPC is a bit intriguing. I really want this thing to go higher, but in a few days, if it starts breaking down below this 18 area, I will be tempted to maybe short it. Because it had a big move into declining resistance areas. It just got extended. This thing was up, I mean, 47% in, you know, like 3 sessions really. Yeah, NIO and Tesla do kind of have similar charts intraday. That's true. And the NIO is still building higher lows. They held the higher low. I think if it starts breaking out above this 450 area, you know, maybe tomorrow or next week or something, yeah, it could have a big run. Why can't this thing go to $6 or $7? You know, I don't know. It's ultra liquid, so you know, it's easy to buy several 100,000 shares, which is great, pretty great. BLDP, hopefully this thing goes sideways for a few more days, but this thing could, when it starts breaking out of that 1090, this thing could easily go to like $14, $15. Saba is not going away either. Can't believe this thing. Just not going away. Looks like it really wants to go to like low mid-teens at least. I do like this Beyond Meat. It's been building higher lows for a month now. Or 3 weeks at least. Has a tight range, you know. Why can't this thing go back to 130s or something? This is the one I sold like a month ago. I had a nice move in it. It went up 50% in like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Now it's kind of triggering again. It's the same sector as fuel. It's like a fuel cell related name. Yeah, I mean it had a decent move. 2-day move, and then today opening range lows. Yeah, that's a good setup. That's a very good day trading setup. That's like a 4.5 star day trading setup. It would have been better if it had gapped up, but you know, opening range lows after a big 2-day move. Yeah, I used to trade those kinds of setups all the time. That's good job, great job. Yeah, Bitcoin is waking up. I'm stalking this ETCG. It's an Ethereum. You know, it's the same as GBTC for Bitcoin. It looks nice. Like last time it broke out of a flag, this thing went up 200% in like a month and a half or something. I mean, it could easily double or so. Very thin, hard to do more than a few thousand shares, but. I'm actively stalking this. This D-gas is flagging nicely. Maybe next week we get a nice little continuation move to like 400 plus. This is one I'm actively stalking. So I moved stops on all of these bottom bouncers. I'm long the quality blue chip stocks. Man, guys, I really hope many of you traded these things. Because if you didn't, I don't know what the fuck you're trading. Like I've been on these things, like I've been talking about all of these cruise lines, these tight ranges that have been building over the past 2 weeks. Like I've been talking about them every single day. Like these were some of the best opportunities in the market lately. You are trading? Okay, good. Please tell me, guys, more of you traded these cruise lines and potentially airlines too. Because if you didn't, what the hell are you trading? Damn it, CAPR. I should have bought this perk when it took out the highs of the day. This 550 or 560 area. Built higher lows into it. You had a range break. See this? On huge volume. Oh man, if this thing goes like $8, I won't be happy. The Shopify looks super strong. It's been building higher lows this whole time. You see this? Higher lows. I think whichever way the move is gonna be, hopefully it can go sideways for a few more days in this low mid 600 area. Whichever way it breaks, I think it's gonna be at least $100 move. I think I'm gonna buy some BA on a tight intraday setup. I just can't help myself. If I can find a setup where I can risk like $2, heck, this thing could go up. I mean, you know, I'm gonna buy it if I see a good setup. I will. I don't want to risk more than $2 on it. It could go. It could really go. I think there's a lot of shorts in this thing, betting it will go bankrupt. Today's headline CEO comments, maybe a lot more shorts piled in. I don't know. Might follow the price action. BLDP and plug are setting up really well. They're just surfing the rising 10-day moving averages. Those are I'm a little bit excited about. UAVS, it's a pump. They had some kind of a filing where they mentioned a major e-commerce retailer. This is like a delivery drone company. So, you know, people are speculating, oh, maybe it's Amazon or Walmart or something. You know, it could be huge. Like, it could be like Plug from 2013, 2014, when it went from 70 cents to, you know, 12 bucks. It was a similar scenario. So, you know, I just want to be here in it in case this thing goes like 10 bucks. Very slim chance of it doing that, but it could. So that was my thesis. I've seen it before, and if it happens, I want to be there. Now, unfortunately, I missed adding. Like, if I just added 50,000 shares to UAVS instead of shorting this W, that would have been great. W is holding this range on the 60-minute chart. W needs to break 122.30. Then it has easy $13 to downside on the 60-minute chart. I did short another 8,000 shares like 5 minutes ago. And I'm probably gonna short more on a good setup intraday. Alright, let's see here. WLL. This is a sheepy oil name. I am keeping an eye on it. Not a main watch, but you know, this thing could run. Hertz, potential short setup if it puts in a red candle. We'll see. COF is another one that could be a potential short setup. It's up. Today will be day 4 on it. MRNA, what's this one doing? Okay, testing the lower range of its. MRNA could be a short tomorrow. Not today, but I think tomorrow. If it breaks this 47 area, it could very easily fade back to low 40s in a day. So this is something I'm gonna watch. Or maybe if it breaks lower late today. But I'll have to see when it happens. I can't believe this INO is such a technical trading friendly stock. Like yesterday you got the opening range lows at point, you got the VWAP fail, and today again you got the opening range lows and you got the VWAP fail. It's just such a trader friendly stock. Unbelievably trading. Yeah, and it's super liquid, and I can't believe I'm not doing more size on it. Tesla, I am not long it, I'm not short it, I have no position. I think it needs, there's no setup here either way right now. Maybe we know later this week or next week or something. It needs to work, it needs some work either way. Rocking 74, I have no position in Tesla. VTIQ, you know, I've been watching this thing. I actually was about to buy it here on the 13th of April, but it was just too thin. You know, just way too thin. But if it sets up in a few weeks and has some volume, I'm willing to buy it. Yeah. Etsy, I'm watching. If it takes out the lows of the day, I'm gonna start in a few. Not gonna go crazy on it, but this one too. You know, a $10 pullback wouldn't be a crazy thing. I bought myself some save. I just like the risk reward, risking 80 cents to potentially make, I don't know, $5. CELK does look like a decent long setup, to be honest. NOW, I really like this one. They report tomorrow. Yeah, INPH. Looks great. It really does. I just wish I had bought SCDG yesterday. Oh well. Nat is on a potential short watch. Either later today or tomorrow or something. I think it needs to blow off a little bit. CCL is gapping higher. Now CCL and RCL, I As you know, I bought them kind of early in the day once they took out these ranges on the 60-minute chart. They've been very tight for the past 2 weeks. I looked at them initially as potential bear flags, but they result to the upside, so I bought them, and I'm up about 100K on both of them, so I'm very happy about these. And I think these are just getting started. I don't see why they can't retest these previous highs they had like a month ago. I think these things could be monsters potentially for me.